today for a truly historic moment, a moment that has been in the making for over a half century, shaped and inspired by all those who envisioned a museum devoted to the work of Black artists that is rooted right here in Harlem, the spiritual, geographical, intellectual, creative heart of Black America. I am certain this moment will live for a very long time in the memories of artists, arts professionals, cultural advocates, and civic leaders, art lovers across the world, and of course, our neighbors in this incredible community. I hope this moment will live in your memories too, because today, after years of imagining, ideating, and building, I have the privilege of saying next Saturday, November 15th, the new Studio Museum in Harlem is open. Welcome to our new home. I'm truly thrilled to share it with you. We chose to build this completely new home on the same ground where we stood for so many years. We could have looked for a different site in Harlem. We could have relocated to a space in an existing building. But we knew, and our public knew, that this site, which the museum has occupied since the early 80s, is where we belong. We are rooted on West 125th Street, just as we are rooted in the history and the heritage, the imagination and inspiration of all those who came before. Today, we welcome a new future for ourselves by staying true to our past. I'm going to take you back to 1968. The Studio Museum in Harlem opened in a second-floor loft space that our founders rented on a block just north of 125th Street and Fifth Avenue. As you tour our new home, you'll be able to see our humble beginnings in a mural-sized photograph on the 6th floor, which is featured in a special presentation about our history. It was in that second-floor loft that this museum was born. Our founders had hope, ambition, and imagination during an era of social, political, and artistic transformation that required new ways of being in this world and new ways of thinking about what our shared futures would look like. Black artists, then, were rarely shown in galleries and museums, featured in publications, or in scholarly articles. Our museum had to be created because our founders knew that Black artists were making vital and important work which reflected Black life and pushed beyond the narrow ways in which art by artists of African descent was understood. But nobody at the time could have guaranteed our museum would last, let alone be here 57 years later. So now as you preview our inaugural exhibitions and explore our magnificent new home, the first building that we've ever had that is designed to meet our mission and needs, I'm going to ask you to think about what it took for us to get here. Our resilience, our longevity, our continuing relevance in this moment we're living through. This all required the vision and hard work of thousands of people over the course of a half a century. Their stories are embodied in this building. I think about the directors of this institution who came before me: Charles E. Innes, Edward S. Spriggs, Courtney Callender, Dr. Mary Schmidt-Campbell, Kinshasha Holman Conwell, and Dr. Lowry Stokes Sims. They all moved the Studio Museum forward as it has grown and transformed. They were visionary artists in our first generation who set us on the path to become who we are today. I think of William T. Williams, who proposed our signature Artist in Residence program, and Betty Blayton, who established the education programs that still define us here in Harlem and throughout the city. In the early 1980s, the trailblazing Black architect, J. Max Bond Jr., renovated the commercial building that used to stand on this site and adapted it for our use. Thanks to him, we thrived there for decades. I also think of the late Tom Lloyd, the artist and activist whose work was the subject of the Studio Museum in Harlem's first exhibition. As you will see, we are inaugurating our new home with a remarkable survey of his achievements in what was the first museum exhibition dedicated, and what is the first museum exhibition dedicated to him since our opening in 1968. In a few minutes, you'll have a chance to hear more about Tom Lloyd by our Curator Connie Choi, and also hear more about our programs from our Chief Program Officer, Natasha Logan. They're going to tell you a lot about what's going to be going on here at the museum. In so many ways, our present is only made possible because of our past. As I look back on where we came from and how we got here, what is evident to me is the Studio Museum in Harlem has always been about so much more than the structures we have existed within. I'm thrilled that the Studio Museum now has a purpose-built, truly amazing, beautiful 21st century space. In the process of designing the new Studio Museum, I, along with our incredible Studio Museum team, thought deeply about what we wanted the experience of this new Studio Museum to be. And that is not only a museum, but a museum that was built and born in Harlem, one that has always traversed the relationship between being hyperlocal and superglobal. And at the same time, an institution within our values, which is really about what it means to redefine what museum can be in its space and content. This incredible building is a reflection of all that and a gift to the people, ideas, and energy that have emerged out of this institution since our founding. I want to acknowledge the generations of artists who created the work we safeguard, study, and exhibit. They are part of a lineage that stretches back some 200 years, whose work speaks to the breadth, depth, and specificity of the power and possibility of art. I want to acknowledge the members of the architecture firms who we will hear from later in the program. From the New York office of our design architects, Adjay Associates, we are joined by Pascal Sablon, Chief Executive Officer, and from our executive architect, Cooper Robertson, we have Aaron Flynn, partner. Let's give them a round of applause. And of course, I want to acknowledge and thank the many people who have made it possible for us to carry out this project. That list begins with a steadfast, long-standing champion of the Studio Museum in Harlem. He has been selfless in his dedication to our institution and tireless in the work he has done year after year to carry us forward. We could not be more fortunate to have him as the chairman of our Board of Trustees. Please join me with a heartfelt round of applause for our chairman, Raymond J. McGuire.
All right, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, the back row, way up there. Good morning. Can you hear me? Audible? Yes? Wave your hands. I can't see you, but if you wave your hands, I'll pretend like I can. Good. What a moment. Thank you, Thelma. To each of you present here, thank you. Your support of this great institution is what makes this all possible. If there's ever been a time when your voice is needed, it is now. The writer told us long ago that perhaps others could meet the task equally as well, but now it is our time. When many questioned whether we'd ever achieve our goals, many others stepped up. For a museum that is a proud member of the New York City's Cultural Institutions Group, I express our gratitude to our partners in government. Over these past years, the campaign received major support from the City of New York through the Office of the Mayor, the Department of Cultural Affairs, New York City Council, and the Office of the Manhattan Borough President, and the State of New York. In ways that reflect their commitment and resoluteness, the private sector contributed with somewhat unprecedented generosity, led by our extraordinary board, committed foundations, family offices, artists, and individual museum and community supporters. And for those who doubted from the start, please give me leave to report that while we continue to raise, we have met and exceeded a $300 million goal for a holistic campaign to construct our building, increase our endowment, and create an operating reserve. It is no secret that the environment has changed since we started on this journey. Much feels unsettled or tenuous. The economic uncertainties in Washington are being felt locally and throughout the region. Civic life is in transition. Major projects have precarious futures. New technologies are changing the way we think and work. And polarization, weaponization, divisiveness, and the isms live without boundaries. The Studio Museum has risen above the fray. It has demonstrated that notwithstanding the challenges, it has had the courage to stand. Maybe we heard the artist when he challenged us. You only got one shot to miss. Your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So we took our shot. We seized the moment to bear witness to history in motion. This moment feels like what it must have felt like when it all began. The museum was born in a world of flux. The country was divided. People were marching. Artists were demanding to be seen and heard. There was tension, but there was also vision. And out of that vision came the Studio Museum in Harlem, built by artists and activists who believed that art could be a force for justice, for connection, for humanity itself. Now, more than a half a century later, we find ourselves in another pivotal time, one that echoes that same mix of uncertainty and determination. The issues are different in form, but not in substance. Once again, from across Europe and Asia and the United States, the big museums and galleries and fairs and auction houses, from the highest to the lowest, our artists are leading the way. They're helping us imagine, interpret, and inspire a future still worthy of our highest hopes. This is their home. This is what the Studio Museum has always done. And that is what this new building will allow us to do, albeit on a scale and with a power never before possible. This building says to the world, Harlem matters. Black art matters. Black institutions matter. It will stand as a lighthouse on 125th Street, a space where creativity and community meet, where young people can see themselves reflected, and artists of African descent can continue to shape our history. And make no mistake, this new chapter was not inevitable. It was earned through decades of vision, stewardship, and belief. And as we celebrate this moment, there is one for whom the language's most superlative descriptors would only begin to tell the story. If it were not for her superior leadership and intellect, neither this institution, the art canon, nor the global art landscape would be what it is. She has transformed the art world. Every day, she inspired us to think as boldly as possible, to illuminate the profound impact of Black culture on our world. And while the building will always serve as our anchor, her leadership will be forever our muse and essential guide. To honor Thelma and ensure that her presence should forever be acknowledged, the board declared that the beacon at the rooftop of this grand structure that shines light through every level of museum and overlooks Harlem and Manhattan is called the Lightwell. It will carry Thelma's name, the Thelma Golden Lightwell. It will be a lasting symbol.
All right.
It will be a lasting symbol of the radiance that she has brought to this institution for 25 years that she's been here. Thelma, thank you. So let me end where we began, with grace and gratitude. Today, we stand in a moment that Harlem has always promised, a place where art, struggle, and triumph all come together. And if this moment is about anything, then it is about soul. Soul is what Harlem has given to the world through the brush, the pen, the mic, and the horn. The Studio Museum in Harlem has always been more than a museum. It has always been a pulse, a rhythm, a symphony, a testimony. In this new home, its North Star of hope and promise and courage shine even brighter. We remember those who dreamed before us, those who told the stories no one wanted to hear, those who demanded that the world see black art as fine art, as essential art. They taught us, like a philosopher said, to keep our heads up, to fight for truth, and to believe in a better tomorrow. Now, as the door is open, it's not just about respecting the past. It's about the movement forward. The next generation of painters, sculptors, photographers, and visionaries will walk through these halls and know that Harlem built a stage for them. They will know that the struggle can turn into celebration. And as for you, as you embrace your gifts as artists and invoke the calling which William Cuthbert Faulkner extolled in his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, and tell our story and your experience, then the world will be compelled to come here to see what the Studio Museum in Harlem has made possible. Thank you for the dedication to your craft. And thank you for allocating your most precious asset, your time, to be amongst the first to go on this journey with us. I am forever grateful. Please welcome Natasha Logan, our Chief Program Officer.
That was so powerful. Good morning, everyone. I'm Natasha Logan, and I have the privilege of serving as the museum's Chief Program Officer. It's truly an honor to stand here in our extraordinary new home with all of you, with reverence for our history and envisioning our work towards the future. Before anything else, I would like to take a moment to thank some of the remarkable minds who brought some of the today's exhibitions that you'll see to life, and I'd like to say them by name, if that's okay. Our inaugural exhibition of our collection work was organized by our curatorial department. Connie Choi, Adria Gunter, Yelena Keller, Jason Overby, Kiki Tashomi, Habiba Hobson, Maya Davis, Simon Jabrayasis, Abigail Gordon, Cam McEwen, Taylor Ndaye, and Maria Wilson. Thank you so much for your brilliance. I'd like to share a little bit about their exhibition, which is our inaugural collection exhibition called From Now, A Collection in Context. Over the next year, this exhibition takes shape as an evolving presentation that knits the story of our institution and our artists. It looks at our past, the current moment, and the future that we are writing together. The curators selected and will rotate works from the collection, centering signature pieces that embody our mission and form the cornerstones of all that we steward. In doing so, the exhibition will shift, offering new configurations as entry points into the social, political, and environmental concerns of the Black diaspora. So this call and response, which is one between curators and between works, is an unfolding conversation and enables us to show the full breadth of our collection, which represents over 9,000 objects, and brings forward many of the new works that have come into our care since our last on-site exhibition. There are 11 thematic sections. I will not go into all of them because I hope that you enjoy them today, but to highlight a few, we start with a presentation of a section called Us, which is an intentionally dense exhibition of photographs and works on paper that really reflect the spectrum of experiences of Black life. It's placed in our lobby in direct conversation with one of our iconic works by Glenn Ligon called Give Us a Poem. So the me, we that you encounter upon entering becomes the us and the collective. Other themes span the city, the body, sound, which contemplates Black sonic production and its impact on the visual, the body, text, where artists use language to rewrite the world anew, color, spirituality, gold, nature. You'll have to see it yourself. Another section that I wanted to quickly highlight considers time, which looks at works made between 1968 and 70, which Ray and Thelma both reference, this time of incredible social and political upheaval, and the moment in which the Studio Museum was born. The show together is a testament to the ongoing and infinite resources of Black creative expression, and that resonance extends to other programmatic areas that we focus on. Our new publications, our archive, and our incredible learning and engagement programs all reflect our community to creativity, dialogue, community, and access. Our new spaces call for art and community to meet in new and delightful ways, from intimate conversations to spontaneous gatherings right here in our own public common, the stoop that you're all sitting on right now, to Studio Sundays, our free and weekly Sunday invitation to families and learners of all ages for a joyful connection with neighbors and new friends. What unites this cadence of programming is a belief that our museum is a laboratory, which harks right to our origin and in the initial framework for the institution. We see the museum as a place for imagining community and affirm that every person belongs here in a meaningful and reciprocal relationship. If I may, I'm going to talk just quickly about a couple of other things that you will see today. In addition to our inaugural exhibition, we also invited several artists to create works on the occasion of this new building. We can put art almost everywhere and anywhere in this building, and we really tried to think about how art can live both in our galleries and other spaces that you encounter. So we have on our terrace staircase Camille Norman's untitled Heliotrope, which transforms the terrace into a sculptural and sound installation, turning us towards a meditation on migration, growth, and light. Christopher Meyer's Harlem is a Myth is in our new education workshop. It's a wall work that reimagines some of the iconic characters and people you might encounter walking along 125th Street, shifting them into heroes of legend and everyday gods of community and imagination. And returning to our incredible building are three iconic works which have come to signal who we are, what we do, and who we serve. Outside, flying above our entrance, is David Hammond's red, green, and black flag. We have the Glenn Ligon Give Us a Poem, which I just mentioned, in our lobby. And Houston Conwell's The Joyful Mysteries, which was created in 1984. They're seven time capsules that are installed in the stairwell between the second and third floors. Completing this constellation of exhibitions is To Be a Place, an archival exhibition that reveals the story of our museum itself. The title is borrowed from a line in the 1966 proposal for what would become the Studio Museum in Harlem. One of the stated, quote, goals was, quote, to be a place where art happens. Indeed. Together, these exhibitions affirm what the Studio Museum has always been, a place of origin and a place of return, and of building a world anew, a place where Black art lives. I'm gonna stop there, and I'd love to introduce the incredible Connie Choi, whose curatorial leadership and deep vision have helped bring this moment to life. Thank you so much.
As these exhibitions and installations demonstrate, the Studio Museum now has a home that fosters what has been at the core of the institution's mission: the opportunities to create and exhibit art and to bring artists together with community. And now I'm thrilled to introduce Pascal Sablon, the CEO of Aj Associates New York Studio. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Pascal Sablon, CEO of Aj Associates New York, responsible for the Americas and the Caribbean. And what an absolute honor it is to stand before you today as we celebrate the opening of the Studio Museum in Harlem, a space that has been years in the making and a true labor of love. All of us at Aj Associates are thrilled and deeply proud that today's guests, you all, are experiencing the building completed, alive, and filled throughout with art. From the very beginning, our team was profoundly aware of the responsibility we carried to create a building worthy of this extraordinary museum, of the Harlem community, of New York City, and of the global world of the arts. This design was born out of the Studio Museum's vision to translate the culture of Harlem into building form. Through many deep and inspiring conversations between Thelma Goldman and David Aj, this vision evolved into a reimagining of Harlem's own vernacular architecture: the sanctuary, the stage, the streets, and of course, the stoop. All places of gathering, expression, and belonging. It is our hope that every surface, every light-filled space, and every moment of this building will speak to you of this mission, the courage and the aspirations of the Studio Museum. I want to take a moment to thank the extraordinary team at Aj Associates New York, both present and past, for their unwavering dedication, and our partners and close collaborators at Cooper Robertson, whose partnership helped bring this vision to life. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Erin Flynn, partner at Cooper Robertson, whose expertise and collaboration were instrumental in realizing this remarkable project. Erin, thank you for your partnership, and the floor is yours.
About the museum's archives, a powerful reminder of the responsibility we carried in designing for this site. We weren't just replacing a building with a century-long history. We were creating a new landmark of permanence and integrity on West 125th Street, one that reflects and serves the community around it. This is one of the most meaningful projects in Cooper Robertson's history, and personally one of my greatest sources of pride. Congratulations to the entire Studio Museum team. We can't be more thrilled with this opening.
Thank you, Erin. I want to thank Erin and Pascal, this amazing design team, along with Studio Sweaty, who did the landscaping on our roof, to be standing here now, in this building built after years of plans and meetings and all manner of what it meant to envision and then build this building. It is a real joy to be here today, so thank you. And thank you, of course, to the amazing Studio Museum team, both who you heard from and those who have been making all of this possible. We live within the context of this incredible mission set out by our founders. And I know it's what inspires us to continue to create an excellent, beautiful, meaningful, inspirational institution every day. Our speakers gave you a glimpse of what you're about to experience as you explore our building. Now I invite you to do that on your own. For those of you interested in architecture tours, they will be led by Pascal and Erin, so please meet in the lobby. I want to thank you all so much for coming. I hope to see you all here over and over as we welcome the public back into our new home on November 15th. Thank you very much.